So good morning students. Today we will start with a new chapter, that is biological classification. Okay. Chapter second is biological classification. So in the last chapter we had studied about the living organism and how they had been categorized. Okay. So here in these living organisms are divided, how the living organisms have been classified, on what, on their characters, their morphological, anatomical, physiology, cell structure, anything. On the basis of that things, how they have been classified. Not only one living organism, all the living organisms. So here one person whose name is Aristotle, okay, was the earliest person to attempt a discovery on this biological classification. Okay, Aristotle. He was the earliest person or earliest man who had attempted for the classification, that is on the basis of scientific reasons. Okay, Aristotle was the earliest to attempt the scientific basis for classification. So, on the basis of some scientific reasons, this Aristotle has been classified the living organisms. Okay. So, how he had classified the living organism means, see, one of the, among all the living organisms, you take a living organism means, in your mind what examples will come, means that is plants and animals. Okay, these two will come. Further, if you think much means, or further if you think more means, then you will come to know fungi, bacteria, algae, everything. Okay, so Aristotle also was that, like that only. He had classified the two things, that is plants and animals. Okay, see here, plants and animals. And again, he classified the plants under herbs, shrubs, and trees. Okay. Then in animals, they had categorized two types of animals. Animals with the red blood cells and animals without red blood cells. Like that classification he has given. See, with the RBC and without RBC. In this way, he has classified the plants and animals. See, Aristotle divided the plants into herbs, shrubs, and trees. Then animals into two categories or two types. Animals with the red blood cell, or in their blood there is the presence of red blood cells, and those who don't have the red blood cells. Okay, but this classification is not a clear classification or acceptable classification for all the living organisms. So that is the reason one more person whose name is Linnaeus, he had introduced two kingdom system classification. What are the two kingdom system classification? Let's see here. Next person, that it is the Linnaeus. In Linnaeus time, or the person, his name is Linnaeus, has a two kingdom system of classification has came or discovered. Two kingdom system of classification. How many kingdoms? That is, two kingdom system classification has been developed. And what are the two kingdoms over here, sir, which was introduced or developed by Linnaeus, sir? That is, first is kingdom Plantae, and the second is kingdom Animalia. These are the two kingdom system of classification, which was given by a person that it is known as the Linnaeus. So this was developed in which all plants has came under the kingdom Plantae, and in kingdom Animalia all animals have been grouped. In kingdom Animalia. Okay, the next here, the system was used till very recent years. Okay, till the five kingdom classification came into existence, till that time very recently, that means in the year 1969, five kingdom classification has came into existence. Till that time, only these two kingdoms were developed. Okay, so here you see Linnaeus has been developed this two kingdom classification on the basis of characters. Okay, simple characters. Plant, how it will be like this. If it is green in color, if it has the leaves, then we can say this is the plants. Animals which are able to move, one character, simple character I will tell you. Unable to move, that is the plant. Able to move, that is the animal. Okay, so like this, by seeing like this simple characters, means presence of leaves in the plants, absence of leaves in the animals. Okay, so by seeing all these simple characters, Linnaeus has classified this two kingdom classification. Okay, so this two kingdom classification include bacteria, algae, fungi, then bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperm. In what? In the plant kingdom. What are the things came into the plant? All plants we said, but along with plants, it also comes the bacteria, fungi, then plants, bacteria, fungi, algae, all they had categorized or classified under the kingdom Plantae. Okay, so among fungi as well as bryophyte, gymnosperm, angiosperm, pteridophyte, all that had came under the, here I will write, algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. All these organisms they had included what under the kingdom Plantae. Into what? During the two kingdom system of classification. But here one more thing they had classified, that is one more kingdom, that is the kingdom Animalia. In animals, they had classified or categorized all animals. Along with animals, they also included the protists or protozoans. Okay, they also included the animals, means all the animals, chordate, non-chordates, everything. They included under the Animalia. So the characters that see here. So this system was used till recently. I told you this system does not give a differences between the unicellular and multicellular organisms, prokaryotes and eukaryotes organisms, photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic organisms. Okay, see here in this everything they had included. Okay, see here bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperm, angiosperm, they are photosynthetic. Whether the bacteria is photosynthetic, some bacteria are photosynthetic, but bacteria is unicellular. Okay, see here bacteria is unicellular. All these are multicellular. Yes, sir. This is not a correct differentiation between the organisms. Understanding? See here, this system which was introduced by the Linnaeus, this does not give a correct distinguish between or the difference between. See here, this system does not give or does not distinguish between first thing unicellular and multicellular organisms. Multicellular organism. This is one character. Then this also does not give between the prokaryotes and eukaryotes or eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. And third thing, photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic. Now listen here. First, in this all organism which comes under the kingdom Plantae, here all plants are multicellular. Okay, all plants are multicellular. Fungi, some are unicellular and some are multicellular. Algae, some are unicellular and most of them are multicellular. Bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperm, angiosperm, all they are multicellular. Okay, this is not giving an accurate classification. And among these, some bacteria are photosynthetic, some bacteria are non-photosynthetic. Fungi are non-photosynthetic. Okay, so fungi should not come under the plants. Okay, except all are photosynthetic. Okay, and bacteria is a prokaryotic cell. You know the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic? Prokaryotic cell means the cell in which the nucleus is not bounded by any membrane. That is nuclear membrane. Okay, so the bacteria is prokaryotic, but the fungi, algae, bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperm, all these are eukaryotic. Their cells are having a nucleus with a nuclear membrane. Okay, understood. So this is the thing. By seeing this character, this we cannot say this will come under category or one kingdom. The next thing here in among animals you see, animals are all are eukaryotes. Are there? They are composed of what? Eukaryotic cells. But protists are also eukaryotes. But animals are multicellular. Their body are made up of many cells. Okay, but protists are unicellular. Amoeba is there? Amoeba, paramecium, euglena, they all comes under the kingdom Animalia. But all are unicellular. If If you take some other examples of animals, for example, human being, they are multicellular. So this is not a correct classification, okay, to study the biological classification. So next here, Linnaeus classification brought together prokaryotic bacteria, blue-green algae, all things under the kingdom Plantae. So they had not classified correctly the unicellular and multicellular organisms. And next here, as well as the two kingdom classification did not differentiate between heterotrophic fungi and heterotrophic and autotrophic. One more point is you can write here, heterotrophic and autotrophic organism. What do you mean by heterotrophic? The organism which produce but dependent on the others for food. Autotrophic means which prepare their own food. Here in the plants you see are autotrophs, that we know. But bacteria, fungi, whether they are autotrophic? No. Some bacteria are autotrophs, most of the bacteria are heterotrophs. And fungi, they are the heterotroph. Okay, they also shows the composition in cell wall. One more point that it is, they also shows the composition in cell wall. You can take the cell wall of plants. In all these plants, algae, their cell wall is made up of cellulose. Their cell wall is made up of what? Cellulose. The chemical composition of cell wall of plants, all plants. But except fungi, the cell wall of fungi is made up of a different chemical composition, and that is the chitin. This is also a difference. Okay, so chitin, the green plants will have a cellulosic cell wall, and fungi will have a pectin cell wall. Okay, this is also not matching over here. Okay, so altogether, based on their morphology, other characters like cell age structure, nature of wall, mode of nutrition, habitats, methods of reproduction, evolutionary relationship, etc., are considered as classification for further classification. And what is that classification? That is five kingdom classification. So let's see here about the five kingdom classification. Next, it is five kingdom classification was first proposed by R.H. Whittaker. See here, five kingdoms classification. It was first proposed by a person, name is R.H. Whittaker. RH Whittaker in the year 1969. In the year 1969. See, many times in your board, first PU board, they asked this question for 1 marks. Who first proposed the 5 kingdom classification? Note it down for 1 mark question. Who first proposed 5 kingdom classification? That it is the RH Whittaker. So these kingdoms, which these 5 kingdom classification was defined by him, were named. What are the 5 kingdoms? Already I had told you. That is Monera, Protista, Mycota, Plantae, and one more name, that is Animal. These are the 5 kingdoms which was proposed by RH Whittaker. Okay. So what is the main criteria? On what basis he had classified all these 5 kingdoms? That it is main criteria for classification used by him. Criteria for this classification which was used by the RH Whittaker, that it is cell structure, thallus organization. First, cell structure. What is the cell size, cell shape, whether it is prokaryote or eukaryote? On the basis of that, he had classified 5 kingdoms. Second one, thallus organization. Thallus organization. Thallus means, you can see in some of the plants, that is in some of the algae and in some of the plants, the body will be thallus body. Okay, the body will be thallus, totally flattened body. So, on the basis of that thallus organization, he had classified the 5 kingdom classification. The next, mode of nutrition, whether they are autotrophs or heterotrophs. Mode of nutrition, how they are going to utilize their food. That is the mode of nutrition. Okay, some are autotrophs, some are heterotrophs, some are parasites, some are saprophytes, like this. On the basis of that, they have classified this. Next, reproduction. So some of the organisms they had identified and classified this 5 kingdom classification. Okay. The next here, let us look at this 5 kingdom classification to understand the issues and considerations that influenced the classification system. So, earlier classification system includes blue-green algae, that is the cyanobacteria, bacteria, fungi, mosses, ferns, gymnosperm and angiosperms under the plants. In the 2 kingdom classification system. Okay. Then the characters, see here, this is first, this is very important question. RH Whittaker proposed the 5 kingdom. Next, what we have to see is, we had seen the basis and what are the kingdoms. On the basis of what things, what characters, these have been classified. One by one we will see here. See here. First, during 2 kingdom classification system, bacteria, blue-green algae, fungi, bacteria, blue-green algae. See, you are not familiar with this word blue-green algae. One more name for blue-green algae is cyanobacteria, which comes under the bacteria only. Okay, blue-green algae, then ferns, mosses, fungi, mosses, ferns, bryophytes, pteridophytes, that only. Then gymnosperms and angiosperms. All these organisms, they had classified under the plants. Under what they had classified? They had classified under the plants. Okay, this whole kingdom. So the character under the plants, the character that unified this whole kingdom was that all organisms included had a cell wall in their cells. Okay, this all organisms, on what basis that Linnaeus has classified this all organism under the plants group. So all these organisms will have a cell wall in their cells. Cell wall in their cells. This is the first basis. Okay, this is the first character on which means see, if this is the all organisms, animals, plants, protists, fungi, everything is there. What they had looked in them means they had looked their cells, whoever the organism's cells, in which there is a presence of cell wall. Okay, they had classified or they had grouped into a different kingdom. First basis, that is cell wall, presence of cell wall in their cell. This is the first point on which, see, animals will not have the cell wall. Animals will not have the cell wall, then protists will not have the cell wall. Okay, except these two organisms, all will have the cell wall. Okay, first also I had told you, but the cell wall composition will be different. In fungi it is chitin, in other plants and all it will be cellulose. Okay, so this is the first point on which they had grouped all these under the plants. This is the first character. Next thing here, this placed together group which differ in other characters. Yes, this is a similar character in all these organisms. Bacteria will have the cell wall, blue-green, fungi, mosses, worms, gymnosperm, angiosperm. All of them will have the cell wall. But what differing over here means that it is a, see here, they had grouped into plants by seeing the cell wall, but they had not seen whether that cell is a prokaryotic or eukaryotic. This is the second thing or second basis. See here. In this, they brought together all prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Okay, prokaryotic and eukaryotic organisms. See here, bacteria is prokaryotic. Blue-green algae is prokaryotic. Then fungi, mosses, ferns, gymnosperm, angiosperm. These all are what? Eukaryotes. Understanding? First, they had seen the cell wall, but they had not seen whether it is prokaryote or eukaryote. Some of the organisms are composed of cells which are prokaryotes. Okay, I will tell the meaning of prokaryote. This is the prokaryotic cell and this is the eukaryotic cell. Here, the prokaryotic cell, the nucleus will be there. Within the nucleus, there will be presence of genetic material. Okay, and here, this is the nucleus in which there will be presence of genetic material, but this nucleus is bounded by a nuclear membrane. Okay, except this, the other membrane bounded cell organelles will be present in the eukaryotic cell. That membrane bounded cell organelles are absent in the prokaryotic cell, such as mitochondria is there, Golgi apparatus is there, what we call endoplasmic reticulum is there. So all that cell organelles are absent in the prokaryotic cell, present in the eukaryotic cell. So this difference has been not seen while classifying under the plants. They had seen only the cell wall. So next point will come that prokaryotic bacteria and the blue-green algae with other groups which are eukaryote. As I told you, bacteria and blue-green algae are prokaryotes, while others are the eukaryotic organisms. Okay. The next here, it also grouped together the, see one more thing. Second point is the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic. And the third difference, they had also not differentiated between unicellular and multicellular. Here, bacteria is unicellular, blue-green algae is unicellular. Okay, fungi, mosses, ferns, gymnosperm, angiosperms are multicellular. Okay, bacteria and blue-green algae are unicellular. All these are multicellular. Okay, for example, in algae also, see, algae also will come under these plants only. Okay, but algae, in that algae, some are unicellular, such as Chlamydomonas and Spirogyra is placed under the algae. What are the examples of algae? That is Chlamydomonas and Spirogyra. These also placed under the, were placed together under algae. Okay, so these are the unicellular organisms under algae, but all except these two examples, Chlamydomonas and Spirogyra, all the other algae are multicellular. Okay, the next, the classification did not differentiate between heterotrophic group and autotrophic. The animals which are dependent on the others for their food and animals which are preparing their own food. So here, fungi and the autotrophic green plants, they show, they also did not differentiate. Here, blue-green algae, bacteria, some are heterotrophs, some are autotrophs. Except these all are autotrophs. Okay, this is one point. Next point, that they also showed a characteristic difference in their cell wall composition. Fungi will have a cell wall which is made up of chitin, but rest all the other organisms will have this cell wall, and their cell wall is made up of cellulose. Okay, the next, when such characteristics we consider, so the other, see, if we will see the cell wall composition means, the fungi should be classed differently into a different category or different kingdom, because the cell wall is totally different from the other cell wall, other organism cell wall. It is here, it is chitin means that all the organisms will have the cellulose in their cell wall. So the fungi should not come under the plants. It should be classified into the different kingdom. What is the name of that kingdom? That is kingdom Mycota. Okay, here you see it is placed under into the different kingdom, that is kingdom Mycota. Like this, three kingdom has been classified by seeing all these characters. So, see, the next, all prokaryotic organisms grouped up under, first, from all these organisms, they had placed one kingdom, that is kingdom Mycota. On basis, that is on the cell wall composition. Yes, sir. Then next, what they did means, they saw the character that is about the prokaryote and eukaryote. Here, bacteria and blue-green algae. Bacteria and blue-green algae, they both are prokaryotes. Yes, sir. Bacteria and blue-green algae, they are prokaryotes and they are grouped under the kingdom Monera. See, these two organisms placed under a different kingdom, and that kingdom is kingdom Monera. This is one more classification. First of all, two was there. That is the third one, and this is the fourth one. Fungi on the basis of cell wall composition. Monera on the basis of which type of cell? Prokaryotic or eukaryotic? The next, that it is the unicellular eukaryotic organism. One more is there. Among animals, I had told you, under the animals, see here, in animals, what are the organisms they have placed? Animals and protists, such as amoeba, euglena. Okay, these are the example of protists. But here, the animals are multicellular. Multicellular means their body are made up of many cells. Here, amoeba, euglena, that means protists, they are unicellular. Their body is made up of only one cell. But the cell in both of them, it is eukaryotic. So, by seeing this character, multicellular or unicellular, this protist has been placed under the different kingdom. What is the name of that kingdom? Kingdom Protista. This is the fourth kingdom. Okay. The next, so in this way, they have placed all this. See, plants means they are photosynthetic, eukaryotic, or their reproduction and all. By seeing that things, they have placed the kingdom plants under the kingdom Plantae, and animals, by seeing some morphological characters, they have been classified into the kingdom Animalia. Okay, so all these are about the 5 kingdom classification. Okay, so on the basis of different characters, they had been classified the different classification, that is the 5 kingdom system of classification. Okay, the next that is first, see, one by one, first will come the kingdom Monera, which is the first kingdom. So one by one we have to study in details. What are the examples? What are the different classification? Again, this Monera will classify into the different groups. Okay, so in this way we have to study about, first we will study about the Monera, that is all about the bacteria. Okay, protist, that is all about the protozoans, euglena, paramecium, amoeba, plasmodium. So all that we will study under the protist. Then comes the fungi. Okay, under the fungi there are 4 classes: Ascomycetes, Deuteromycetes, Basidiomycetes. So all that we will study under the kingdom fungi. The next comes the plants and animals. Okay, for plants and animals there are different chapters. In this chapter they had a short explanation, but after this chapter there are whole chapter is there on the plant kingdom and whole chapter is there for kingdom animal. So that we will study in the next class. Okay, thank you.